All right. Hello, everybody. Apollo's here holding some space, and I am as well. Hope you guys are doing great. Welcome to the weekly collective reading. If you're brand new here, this is going to be a chance to look at the next 7 days, looking at high points, challenges, everything in between. And you chose as a special topic collectively, basically information from a future you. It's time traveling telegram advice from a future you. So this is a really great way to avoid the would've, could've, should've things that we all get into from time to time. And it's like, wouldn't it be great if I already knew this? Well, that's what today's reading is about. So welcome, and it's great to see everybody. Okay, so we always begin with channeled messages in this. Everybody's welcome, and the messages that come through, unless otherwise specified, are for all of you. So in this channeled message, I'm going to basically go through some dream messages that I received, and I did receive a lot this morning, but I'm going to consolidate it into the top and the most helpful ones. One of the things that really came through was reclamation of self-worth, realizing that you're worth it. And what I was shown was an ancestral, or it's beyond this lifetime, it could have been karmic, experience with a lack of that. So what I actually was shown, and I was, as I was walking Apollo, I said, okay, when Charles Dickens was alive, was it which king or queen? So it was Victorian era England. I saw like a workhouse, which he talked about in Great Expectations. And it felt like some of you had that experience of not having parental support, maybe even having to work when you were really young and not have a childhood and not have that experience of just being able to feel like have fun and play and feel loved. And so in this lifetime, there's a reclamation of the inner child, basically. But also I was shown a coin, like a penny. And it's almost like that was what the exchange was when you were underpaid. You might have even, there was just some weird stuff with that. But I looked at the Ace of Pentacles then and I thought, we're reclaiming it. We're reaching out into the sky and saying, I'm worth it. But it also is the inner child, like the Six of Cups. So you have permission and encouragement in this lifetime to experience joy, to be loved, to experience wealth and abundance in all of its forms. And there is something from the past, either this past, generationally or karmically, that can and should be healed. And we'll look at it today when we go into the deep past of the special topic. So that was one thing that I picked up on, and yeah, it was kind of profound. I was also shown rice as a symbol, which to me represents the ability to absorb things. So I don't think I've ever been shown that actually in a meditation before, but think about sometimes if something's exposed to moisture, you put rice around it so that it can pull the moisture out. But it also just in a meal too kind of makes you feel full. But I was thinking of the absorption qualities of it. So you can kind of soak things up right now. Education in particular, but we are like rice in our environment sometimes, and we pull with us the energy of the people and the places that we spend the most time. So I'd love for you this week, especially since I believe we have a new moon, I'll probably do a special reading for that. But as we are setting intentions for something new, maybe some of it can be to surround ourselves with people, places, and things that sustain, encourage, lift up. And if there's anything that does the antithesis or opposite of that, it's time to move in a different direction. And the last thing that came through was I saw someone hugging a person on a motorcycle and just speeding into the future. Very much like the Knight of Pentacles in the Lightseers deck. Well, actually, I mean, they're not doing that, but there's a motorcycle in that one. And I always love that metaphor because I feel like it's kind of like fasten your seatbelts. Things are about to pick up. And this last quarter of the year is probably going to fly by. We're entering into October over this, weekly forecast, believe it or not. So I have a feeling this month in particular, the month ahead, is going to be spectacularly fast. By the end of today, I already recorded it. The Pisces reading will be up. And I'll try to send a newsletter tomorrow too. But by tomorrow, all the readings will be up. You can check in with your October sort of energy and make sure that you're prepared. But today is a great way to get started. And thank you, everybody, for joining. The next portion today is going to be the 7-day forecast. So I love that I have a lot of great new decks. Actually, I was going to grab one before I got started here, but it's okay. I'm going to work with what's in front of me. And let's see here. I think I'm going to go back to the Crow one because we've been enjoying using that one, and that'll be a great one for the 7-day. I was going to do the Wild Unknown, but it's across the room. All right, let's close our eyes. Please take a moment, if you will, let go of any preconceived thoughts or notions. Let's welcome in angels, spirit guides, and ascended masters so that we can receive. All right. I think it's important to set intentions. I always do that, but I didn't always show it on the videos, so I'm trying to help people see how to take like literally 10 seconds and connect with source before working with the cards. I think it's super important. I would always say it in my head, but I'm trying to be more cognizant to help all of you too. All right, let's get started. Okay, let's get this organized and begin. I hope all of you are doing well, by the way. Let's get started with the energy for today. So we have a success card. It is reversed, but let's pull it up right so we can enjoy the illustration. So we have the 6 of Wands, and really in this illustration, it nicely personifies the need to sometimes rise above, lead the charge, especially when, or even when no one else is kind of stepping into that role, and always kind of elevate your communication as well. This is a great day. I mentioned in the daily read that I think we got the 2 of Cups. If you had anything that you needed to do in a persuasive kind of communication, it would be ideal. Leadership is coming through as well. The main thing here is to speak to, not speak down to people. Because the card was reversed. And if it's upright, we kind of get that I'm above or whatever. We don't want that. This is actually encouraging you to speak on the level with whomever it is and assume that they are smart, that they are competent, that they have a point of view. We don't see that much anymore, right? There's a lot of condescending communication out there. So I think it's so nice to assume intelligence of the audience, whether it's a creative work or persuasive conversation. Too often that is ignored. And that actually will elevate you naturally because kindness, empathy, and intelligence, that tends to attract like energy. So that's what I'm really seeing here. Anything you set your mind to, you can do. Do it because it feels right, not because you need or want validation. When the card is reversed, it's reminding you that there are better things or that there are more things than the validation. More important things, I should say. Okay? Perfect. All right, so we start the week off in a beautiful energy here with the Ace of Wands in the upright position. And it's basically saying, take something and run with it. Sometimes I use the analogy of a relay racer with the Ace of Wands. Traditional Rider-Waite-Smith would have a hand kind of presenting the wand to you. In this one, we can assume that you've already taken the wand and it's just a matter of taking it to the next level. So if you have an idea, if you have a plan, this is a great day to research it, to take action, to communicate it, to share it, basically to run with it, okay? This also represents like a light bulb moment. So if you've been feeling stuck, I feel like Monday's a turning point for that. It should start to get easier. It should start to get clearer for you. So it's a great day for any sort of creative or intellectual energy or project. And in a relationship, this is actually a good card too. So let's say you took my advice and spent time with someone today. It could go a little bit deeper on Monday. This usually represents passion. So it could be easier to connect with the person intellectually or physically. So there's a lot of energy of exchange going on Monday. It's pretty good. I think, again, if there's also an email that you need to send out or something like that, exchanging of ideas is really coming forth. Okay. Tuesday is a day of self-care. So we have the 10 of Swords here. First time I've seen it in this deck because I'm still new with this deck, so I had to look for a second. And the 10 of Swords at its most elevated represents the clarity that something's done. You're done with a person, place, or thing. Is it fun going through it? No. Is it important? Yes. Sometimes we just need to get to a point where someone disappoints us, something bothers us, or literally our feelings are hurt and we think, I don't need this, and you don't. So if you've come to that conclusion on, we're on Tuesday, sorry about that. On Tuesday, it's going to be important for you to just take care of yourself. Sorry about the day marker. The other thing here is avoid stepping into an argument or stepping into a trap when it comes to someone trying to elicit a response from you. So don't take the bait. That's a better way to put it. If there's someone who always enjoys kind of jabbing or whatever, they just really want to feed off your energy and you don't have to go there. If you've been working way too hard at school, at work, around the house, whatever, this is a day to not push yourself. It's not going to be worth it. You could get sick, you could injure yourself. It's really a great day to take a step back, to rest, to meditate, or just to do less, but do it better, okay? And absolutely on Tuesday, if you need to do something like a massage, a doctor's appointment, or a nap, any of those things are great. Slow down. And always try to find, like, if there is, you usually can't see it when you're in the throes of it, but there usually is a silver lining when something comes to a close. And it gives you, think of what periods do or full stops do in a sentence. If we didn't have a chance to catch our breath, and say that it separates thoughts. It also helps a speaker just kind of like breathe. And so I feel like the same thing here. Separate yourself from something, take a breath, and create some space between what you were just doing and what you're about to do. So think of it as a full stop and have a full stop moment sometime on Tuesday, okay? So again, Monday, Ace of Wands, Tuesday, Ten of Swords, Wednesday, you've reclaimed your balance. Make sure I get the right day marker on this one. This is a day to speak up, to really keep whatever your boundaries or limits are that you established on Tuesday and keep them in place. If there's something that you need to fight for legally or just fight or advocate for yourself, this is a great day to speak up. The other thing here is looking at all the stuff in your life and making sure that there's enough. So you're either going to cut things out if they're too much, you're going to add things in if there's not enough, and you're going to continue to stand up for what matters most, okay? There could be a great Libra coming through. Libras, this is a power day for you as well. Generally speaking, it looks like it's very positive since Justice was in the upright position, and this is kind of where that reclamation energy is, finding your voice, finding your power, speaking up, figuring like I've got nothing to lose, I have everything to gain, I might as well go for it and say what I need to say. If you need someone to take a look at something like a lawyer, great day for that as well. All right, we're now into Thursday. Thursday's pretty good. You're going to get a lot done. So we have the Eight of Pentacles, and this is a day where you can really roll up your sleeves and see progress. It's good for writing, for construction, and for anything where you're going through it and really trying to fine-tune the details. Learning as well. So writing, learning, creating. And you're going to get a lot out of the experience as well. Typically with the Eight of Pentacles, it is an enrichment sort of thing. So if you can find the fun in work, a lot of times this will make it both more productive and you're going to be more effective at it as well. A lot to love with this. I'm also looking at this and it reminds me of something that ravens and crows do, which is they reward people sometimes with little baubles and things that they find if you feed them and if you're nice to them. And it almost looks like this raven is, or crow is creating something for someone. So you might be doing that, a homemade gift or an act of gratitude. Keep doing what you're doing. That person is going to feel the love that you put into it. Okay, as we take a look at the end of the week, you're trying to figure out what's next. And only you can really answer that. So on Friday here, we have the Eight of Swords. The eyes and ears are kind of covered up on this card usually. And just like the Two of Swords, it's an invitation to go inward. Now, there's a difference between the Two and the Eight. Two is just indecision. The Eight is typically a prison of thought. So usually by thinking, I can't do it, it's not going to work out, nobody cares, nobody loves. When we put all of these negatives out there, it starts to shut doors that didn't even open, didn't even have a chance to open. So what we want to do instead is think. You had the full stop moment earlier this week. Okay, that didn't work. What about this? Why not? What if it does? What if this person says yes? What if this opportunity comes through? I'm worth it. I've worked hard. I have great ideas. I'm a good leader. Kind of be your own best hype person and get yourself hyped up a little bit on Friday to the positives, to the possibilities. Look inward. Anytime we have a blindfolded card, it's saying, all right, if it's not obvious, what do I feel? What do I see intuitively in this situation? Because what's around me doesn't make sense. So doing the inward work is really useful. Some of you may just feel like people are ignoring you. They're not listening to you. And you may be right on some levels, but now it's time to decide what to do about that. It's never as intense as it looks. Usually there's always a way out. It's not a full prison. The bird can fly up or it can move out. The person usually in the card, same thing. They can just find their way through. So ask for help if you need it and turn your fears into questions. Why not? What if it does go okay? Putting it into the positive, at least asking the question, why don't I give it a try? And that's my advice on Friday. Get yourself out of the prison of thought. Okay, things are looking much brighter here as we're going to Saturday. We have the Six of Cups, and for some of you, you're setting the stage for something wonderful. Maybe the person isn't in your life yet, but this can represent incoming love, friendship. You may have the person in your life and you're making plans with them. It could be the inner child. I talked about that weird Victorian image that I had where someone didn't have a proper childhood. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you were like an older brother or sister that had to take care of your younger sibling because there was a lack of parental support. Now is a chance for you to have some fun. Maybe even have fun with the sibling, but you get to play the younger one. You get to have that inner child be fed in this moment. So what feeds the inner child? Is it going to a movie? Is it, working on the car, gardening or taking a hike? Whatever it is that feeds the inner child, this is the day to make sure that that little child is fully fed and is very happy. This is a great time to connect with children in your life. If you have children, if you have nieces and nephews, if you just enjoy that kind of energy, it can also help you get out of your headspace. Kids keep it real, right? They're not gonna let you be in a bad mood sometimes. They're gonna help you recalibrate. Pets would also connect with this as well. But you could find a new friend or new love interest this day. This is a very attractive card, just like the Lovers or the Two of Cups. So get out, mix and mingle next Saturday for sure, okay? If I can hold the card here, we have the Queen of Cups coming through for next Sunday, 1 week from today. And basically, this is why you've been doing all of the work. This is you finally in the receptive mode. I like to think of King and Queen of Cups as gigantic satellite dishes. When they're upside down, they're kind of not ready to receive. The internal components are turned off because they need to recalibrate, right? And as you start to do the work, the satellite dish goes back into the place of reception. So you're going to be more open to receive love and opportunity. You're going to be more attractive because you're not needing, you're receiving. You're in the receptive mode. You're not trying to find something. This is also, because we're talking about the satellite dish, think about your thoughts. The last couple of signs, Pisces, you'll see it when I post it, but Aquarius, I saw it. There was like an empowered high priestess. I saw a high priestess in a power position with Pisces too. And what's happening right now is that thoughts are very, very strong and powerful, particularly since we're on the precipice of a new moon. So I encourage you to put affirmative thoughts out there. I'm ready for more abundance or opportunity. I'm ready for more love. I'm ready for it to get easier, right? I don't need pain as a teacher. I don't need all of this hassle. And project that as well. Cancer, you're coming through on this too. I just saw the crab in the corner. So all of my water signs, I feel like the end of the week is going to be good, but we can all connect to it using the metaphor of thoughts in the satellite dish. All right, let's look at the high points and the challenges, and then we'll move on to the elements. For this week, I actually feel like today is a great day. But like I said, the one opportunity is just to elevate communication and speak to people on the level. Definite high points, Monday, because you have this ideation coming through and this new capacity to connect with your dreams. You're finding balance Wednesday. You can get a lot done Thursday, and I just love the weekend. So most of the week has high energy. The challenges are, and these are maybe the only days to put extra focus, Tuesday and Friday. Tuesday because you need to take care of yourself. Friday because you're going to more fear-oriented thoughts rather than affirmative messages, okay? All right, so we're gonna move onward now. Before I do that, if you enjoy this, just a quick reminder to like and subscribe while I'm getting everything organized on the desk. It's free, it helps the channel, it helps me know that you enjoyed this. The next portion of this reading is elements, and this is a chance for us to take a look a little deeper at all of the different elements. Like I said, monthly readings will all be out on Monday. The final one will actually be out later today, but in the meantime, we're gonna do this first. Okay, so let's see what's coming through for all of the elements. Okay, we got, the first one just flew off. So that is for fire. We have healing and camaraderie there. That's cool. All right. Fire, earth, air, water. Okay. Fire. The cards couldn't wait to communicate. So I mentioned the 10 of Swords energy. 3 of Swords is very similar in that it's asking you to slow down and take care of yourself. So that is one of the first things that I see here. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, take a break, slow down, focus on mental health, on emotional health and well-being, and physical health, because this can also indicate that some of you may not be taking care of your body as well, so mind, body, and spirit. Then one of the ways to do that is actually through friends and through hanging out with other people. So we have a very social 3 of Cups here, spilling the tea, maybe playing a game together, just enjoying each other's company. Very nicely connected to what we were talking about with the 6 of Cups, making some time to play. And by the way, that was on Saturday, so especially focusing that energy on Saturday. This is a great time to connect with others. There could be new love coming into your life. There could be new companionship coming into your life. And this is a time to really enjoy that. The most important thing, though, before you can make room for that, that's why this was the first card, clear out the internal network. So we were talking about that satellite. The satellite's not quite ready to go to the 3 of Cups just yet. A little bit of healing must be done first, okay? But we have a nice silver lining in the form of friends, loved ones, and new acquaintances this week. Okay, great energy for my fire signs out there. Now let's take a look at Earth. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Okay, this is some of the energy from childhood that I was picking up on. And not just childhood, but partnership. I love that they're showing that this can hit at any age. There usually is like a child and a younger person on the card. It's not just children. But what we see here is someone who is not listening. This is the opposite of what we were talking about here, which was talking to people on the level. This is being condescending and being commanding and not listening and probably overdoing it. Like, I feel like both of the people in this card got the point. They're like, okay, do you have to keep going? We get it. You're not happy. Checking in with people in communication is important. Now, I feel like some of you are on the receiving end. So if you have been working in an environment or living in an environment with a partner where the person is constantly pointing the finger but never taking that accountability to themselves, this is affirmation from spirit that you don't have to keep taking that in, soaking that in like the rice that I was talking about. It's also saying that if someone in the past wasn't there for you, the whole thing that I saw in dreams today is it's very much in the past, and it should no longer kind of get in your headspace of your current value. So that person probably was speaking from a place of inadequacy, fear, and hurt. And they were projecting their anger at you rather than doing the inner work. Again, I'm no psychologist. I'm just a tarot reader, but the cards say a lot. And what I'm seeing with this is somebody just lacked empathy, experience, intelligence, the wherewithal, the patience that you needed, that you deserved, and that's on them, not you. So from spirit, from the cards, from me, I'm going to tell you this. You're worthy. Now is a new moment. Let's not give that person, that place, that experience any more real estate than it needs to have in your mind. It still hurts. But Pain is a teacher, and we don't need to give it any more energy now. Thank you, pain, for teaching us. And now I'm going to seek out people that are on the level, that see me for all that I am worth, and I am worthy, and I am ready, and I am done with this, because that is not a fun experience. I think we've all been there sometime, whether it's a teacher, a boss, or just an annoying person in your life, pointing their finger, wagging their finger, telling you the way that it needs to be. And you're like, actually, you don't have any idea who I am or how I'm feeling, okay? So we're moving past that. And there's a lot to embrace this week. I think that the trigger days for you were when we got the 10 of Swords and the 8 of Swords, so Wednesday and what was that? I think it was Tuesday and Friday. So really taking care of yourself. Wednesday's the recalibrating moment. So you will get there. You can get there because, as we saw for the weekend, everything's starting to look much, much better, okay? Let's move on. Air signs. Slow down. That's the main thing here. We have the 4 of Swords. It's reversed. We can see here they chose to show the person in meditation. It's not always about sleep. It can simply be about how much is going on in your schedule. Have you taken a moment to tune in and think, what am I getting out of this? Why am I doing it? Maybe you're just kind of, it's almost like when you sign up for, some sort of fitness class or whatever, you'll do a series, but sometimes it renews and you're like, I think I got everything I need to do out of that. I don't need to renew. We're good. I'm going to cancel. So this is a week to pull back a little bit from obligations, make sure that you're getting something out of it, and really take care of your body. And rest is one way, meditation is another way, slowing down is the third way. And space is good. So again, using the metaphor that I was talking about with the 10 of Swords as a full stop, like it operates in grammar and communication, you take a breath, you get some distance, you see how these two connect to each other, and keep moving on. Actually, a semicolon is connected thoughts, but you know what I'm talking about. You need to have space before you can start to see what came before and what comes next, okay? All right, let me see if there's anything else. So this is the final stage of grief or release, 4 of Swords. In the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith card, there's a person at rest. We see a sepulcher or a coffin, 3 swords above representing the 3 of Swords, and then there's 1 sword beneath representing we have the Ace of Swords at the end of this week here, representing your ability to take it to the next level. So rest, it'll be better tomorrow. You're going to be happier that you took some time to yourself. Great time for vacation. Yes, it's okay for you to decline an invitation or something this week. Just take care of yourself. It's kind of interesting now as we go into water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, that you got that sword that I was talking about. So we got 3, 4, and Ace of Swords coming through. The Ace of Swords is reversed, and a reversed Ace of Swords is basically like a pen or a pencil, circling, crossing things out. So if there's a contract that you don't like, go in there and say, I don't understand this, I don't agree with that. If there's something that you want, speak it into existence. Hey, I was wondering, is this possible? Can I have this? Whatever it is. So speaking, writing, editing, in a very concise way, revisionary if necessary, but you don't have to mince a lot of words. Say what you need, and you have a good chance of bringing things into motion. Try not to be self-deprecating or too critical of yourself or others. That's the only sort of cautionary note with that. It's a great week for those of you that are creative to write. Writing, painting, speaking, and taking action. This is sort of like you're already 1.5 feet through the door. So just get that last half of the foot through the door and get moving, okay? And if there has been any procrastination, it's okay. Today is the day that you kind of crack the ice and start to move forward. Pretty good energy across the board, but definitely some healing. Whenever Swords comes through like it did today, 3 of Swords, 5 of Swords, 4 of Swords, we got a lot of swords. It's basically saying it's time to do the inner healing work. It's time to speak up. And now this is a great segue into the main portion of today's reading, which is the special topic. So again, today's special topic is the time traveling telegram. Say it really fast. Advice from a future you. And somebody in the comments was like, ooh, it sounds like it's science fiction. No, it's basically what we're doing here every week in tarot, which is to look at what's possible and imagine that you could come back and tell yourself that was a mistake, or why did I do that, or that's what I should focus on. That was great. So we're trying to save ourselves from making mistakes or from having sort of like pain as a teacher, right? So that's the intention of this particular type of reading, okay? So yeah, let's get started. I'm going to turn the camera down. Again, we'll just recalibrate, let go of all of the sign-specific messages, focus on what it is that we need to see, what it is that we might want to avoid, and let's just be open to receive. Okay, let's begin. And I finally just purchased this deck. It was on my wish list. I'm like, I want it, so I'm going to get it. So we have the last unicorn. I just repurchased this because I feel really like we need a little bit of magic today. I think we have 2 cards stuck together for the crowning position. Ooh, exciting. More High Priestess energy. Like I said, I've been seeing a lot of that. This is a great deck, but it's very difficult to pull the cards out of it, so it'll take me a second because I don't want to ruin them. Because it's a fancy deck. Based on the movie of the same name, Last Unicorn. All right. There we go. It's a little easier to see because it got really bright in here. Okay, so let's begin with the catalyst. All right, so the catalyst helps us pay attention to what we need to make the necessary movement or change in our life. We have the scarab beetle spirit coming through. Magic works through you. Basically, you are the magician if you choose to embrace that magician energy right now. But it is an important moment to think, I'm ready. I'm ready to receive. I'm ready to put this into motion. And faith and belief in yourself is important. We have that 5 of Swords energy that came through. Not the 5 of Swords, but the 5 of Pentacles. But it might also be 5 of Swords because that came through. So someone who just constantly is critical of you, either one of those kind of works in that energy. And look at the scarab beetle taking flight. So this also reminds me of judgment. And it's rising above. And this is a rebirth symbol, especially if you go into Egyptian mythology. And it's a solar connection as well. So this is just a chance to reclaim your power, try something new, and rise up. That's how we could connect it. But some of you may be doubting your magic or your capacity. So I'm here as your sort of like cheerleader to say you can do this, okay? Let's take a quick glance at all of the cards and see how it's all connecting, how it's all making sense here. So what I can see is a lot of hard work going through. We got the judgment energy, which I just alluded to right there. And I love that the High Priestess is here. This is a moment in time where you can really start to manifest and create some exciting movement and motion in your life. New beginnings, rising up, manifestation. It's a pretty good week, actually. So we're going to focus more on the deep past. This is what to avoid, and then I'll show you what's coming through. First things first, Page of Coins right at the center. This is about communicating what it is that you see, what it is that you need, and not being afraid to reach out for something. Something that isn't always easy when you're younger, or if you've been kind of taught to be quiet, to blend in. She's going for it. She's reaching that and saying, I see this, I want this, I'm ready for this. Confidence and clarity are great leadership qualities, and it's going to take you further. And being able to just say things with that sense of knowing that you believe it, you've done the work, that it is the right thing. So do that part of it too. We don't just want like false confidence where you're speaking with opinions rather than facts. Base it in facts, because we're in Pentacles, which is grounded. So use factual information to make compelling arguments and statements. Speak up when you need to. If you see a lack, identify the lack and say, we should move this over here. There's an opportunity to do something better. So always speaking with that kind of factual information, and you have a good chance of bringing the resources in that you need with the Page of Pentacles. There could be also an offer on the table for you. Someone is interested in your time or your energy, and you get to decide. She's looking at it and thinking, is it good enough? Is it what I want? Does it resonate? All of these things are part of that. So I like that we're starting off with a worth card. Also, I saw the coin in the dream, so the coin is coming back to you. Are you ready to receive it? A page needs to be ready to receive in order for things to really be effective. All right, I need to adjust it one more time. There we go. All right, so is that too dark? Hold on. Trying to get the perfect, that's better. All right, so now we have Judgment on top of this. Judgment is basically your chance. I love that he's actually working his magic here. So in the movie, he takes a unicorn and turns it into human form. And it's much to his own surprise, if I remember. I need to rewatch The Last Unicorn because he's like an apprentice. And then I think he has a hard time turning her back too. But anyway, so we have the Magician energy in this Judgment, and it's really about you owning your power and pulling it all together and saying, again, what have I got to lose? I'm going to pull the traditional Judgment card for just a second. I mean, it is renewal and rebirth. So she's going from one form to another. So transformation is always a part of this. But the other one is answering the call. What do I mean by that? If you have made a little promise with yourself, or if you feel on a soul level, you know, it's time. Why am I not doing this? Or why am I still doing this? It's either a call to start or stop something. So in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith card, we have Archangel Gabriel. We have souls that have died, but now they're rising up to a different life. This is what this is. You don't have to die to change. We have so many rebirths in this lifetime. So it's a chance for you to be reborn and to reinvent yourself. That's the big thing right now that future you is saying. It's already done. And what you're looking for is already within reach. It just requires the step in that direction. The hardest part of saying I quit or I goodbye, or saying goodbye, like, you know, is just getting it out of your mouth. Even I had a hard time there articulating it. But if I think back to like when I quit my job, I wanted to quit for a few years, but finally I just circled a date on the calendar and thought, if I don't do it now, when am I going to? And I finally did it. And as I was giving the letter of resignation, did I have fear or uncertainty? Absolutely. But I also just felt like, this is the time. I must. So find the power within and start the new journey. It starts today. Just with the thought, I'm ready or I'm done. Future you is coming through and saying, you know it's done, or you know you want to do this. Either way, because it's ends and beginnings. That's why I'm mentioning both. And it's the penultimate card, so Judgment and then the World. So when you make the decision, when you answer the call, the world opens up to you. It's just a mental switch that needs to be turned. So are you ready to turn it? Future you thinks so. All right, you're very close to the finish line. If there's something that you've been trying to produce or create, but it can sometimes feel like you are stuck. So we're going to look at the traditional one on this one as well. So the Nine of Wands. I'm going to keep this closer because I'm going to need to look at it a couple of times. This is the card of perseverance and basically fighting until you get what you want. And not taking no for an answer, you know, when it comes to, you know, you can do it. Someone in your life may think that it's not possible, but you're like, no, I'm not going to let your lack of belief get in my way. I'm doing this. So he's standing in front of all of those 8 wands behind him, taking the 9th wand and saying, this is it. This is me. Okay? You're a little worse for the wear. You can see the bandage around his forehead and the forlorn expression. What they focused on in this spread is that feeling of, is it done? Am I stuck? Is this going to be like this forever? So rest and recalibrate, especially my air signs, but everybody can take that moment to just take a breath, take a day, come back the next day and just hit it out of the park. And this is also, even though normally that would be the 8 of Swords, they kind of did a prison of thought here, but the prison of thought in the 9 of Wands would be, it's never going to end. So just, I think you might be doing something to the level of perfectionist quality. In school, a 90% is passing. There may be something where it's good. You're done and dusted. That extra bit, no one will appreciate it, and it may not be worth it. So if it's done, let it go, okay? That's one other thing that I'm seeing with this. The unicorn represents the 9th wand here. So it's also about remembering to reconnect with your dream, and then it's within reach, okay? Don't give up because you think it's impossible. It is possible. All right, we have a boss card here in the recent past. So what I love about Queen of Wands is she finds a way. Of all the queens in tarot, she's the one that will come up with something that someone may, the word baddie is coming through. They may think that it's outlandish, that it's, really just far out there. But yeah, far out in a good way. So I want you to go for that unusual perspective in technology, fashion, and the world in general. Sometimes we need the rebels and the people that kind of break the status quo. So future you is coming through and saying, be bold, be as bold as possible, speak up. You have the power, you have good thoughts, let's do something with them. Let's get cooking. She's a chef in this one. So it's time for you to put it all together and mix your special brew. Okay, that's Shaka Khan, isn't it? I have to think of that song. What is it? Mix a special brew, put fire inside of you. Oh my gosh, it's perfect for that. Anyway, thank you, Shaka. All right, High Priestess and 2 of Pentacles. It's about where you're putting your focus. Okay, so the 2 of Pentacles is blocking the High Priestess. 2 of Pentacles is you spreading yourself too thin, saying yes to everyone or everything, trying to be everywhere at once, and it's not necessarily the best use of your time and or energy, right? The other thing here is just finding balance in your life, which we talked about. And it really is a matter of saying, this feels better to me. I'm going to go down this path, being more decisive, not waffling energetically. Now we have the High Priestess. You're going to take one of those pentacles and put it into this like a slot machine, and you're going to win. So whatever you decide to invest in, see that it's worthy, put your energy into it, believe, work your magic, rise up, answer the call, and then some stuff starts to happen here. So believing is seeing. I have to always think in my head. It's the reverse of what we say. If you are very practical and very skeptical, it's hard to connect with Magician and High Priestess energy because you need evidentiary support. You need to see it in an equation. Guess what? The world doesn't really work that way. And even when we have scientific and mathematical equations, there's always theories, there's always newer, better ways to do it. That's how, like, Einstein came up with the E equals MC squared and stuff like that. We have to think, be out there, go way out there, try something new. We have like this innovation. That was the word that I was trying to think of with the High Priestess. With the High Priestess, but with the Queen of Wands. Innovate and kind of put your own special mix, your special brew, your special touch on things. Really lean into your intuition in this period of time as well, right? And it took me a long time to trust my intuition, interestingly enough, because my parents were very practical. Later, when I kind of came out as an intuitive, they're like, oh yeah, we've had weird experiences, but we just thought it was, nothing. So I found out that it kind of ran in the family, but sometimes we know better, but we don't follow through on that. And I think back to experiences. There was one time when I took a job that I shouldn't. There was one time where I met someone and I got this inclination that they would be trouble, and they were, but I just kind of went with the flow. And then later I was like, yep, I saw that coming, didn't I? I'm not going to doubt myself again. So future you is coming through saying, how many times do you have to see it come through to know that you're connected? Trust your instincts, okay? Even if you just feel it, you don't have to always have clairvoyance or clairaudient skills. It can just be a feeling in your bones, like the moon card that represents instinct. I'm just not going to do that, or I have to talk to this person. Whatever it is that you feel in your bones, trust it. Okay, so I love that there's so much pentacle energy, so many coins that are coming through, because that is what was lacking from the past. Someone took your worth or sold you for less than you were worth. And now you're saying, I'm not for sale. I'm worth a lot more than this. And this is what I'm going to do. You're really going forward and fighting for value and worth. And we're not looking at just the bottom line of, your paycheck, but we're looking at value. You bring value to the equation. Future you is coming through and saying, don't you see how valuable you are? Don't you see how worthy you are? Whoever didn't tell you that or couldn't see it in the past, again, they're the ones that were blindfolded. So we're taking the blindfolds off you. Fight for your worth. Take action on things that make you feel worthy and make you feel connected. And this is where things start to take flight. All knights move quickly. The Knight of Swords moves the fastest, but the Knight of Pentacles still is moving something along. Invest energy into something that feels right for you, okay? And I feel like it's also meeting someone halfway. Knights fight, right? They fight for what matters. Think about what they did back in ancient times, right? They would fight for what's right. They were chivalrous. They are willing and ready, just like the Chariot, to go to battle. So if it's what you want, fight for it. Advocate for it. If not you, then who, right? All right, let me take a drink of water while we look at the environment here. We have Two of Wands there. Okay. So in the environment, Two of Wands coming through. This is reminding you to look around and to look within and to project out. So in the traditional card, I don't trust myself with water on the table. I'm sure many of you are like this because I talk with my hands on, like, that is going to be bad, listening to my own intuition. All right, traditional card, this shows someone that has the whole world right there in their hands, like that old song from, church or whatever. But I also like to think of it as spinning the wheel in geography class. If anybody still has traditional globes, something that we used to do was learn about a different part of the world by spinning it and then putting your finger down, and wherever it landed, you would research it and you would talk about it. So this is imagining yourself somewhere other than you are. You're doing this today, but what if you were doing that tomorrow and maybe in a different place? It's really leaning into the transformative energy that is a part of the Judgment card. I'm just going to go with this one because we have transformation on it. So see yourself in a different form and in a different place, and ask yourself, how do I get there? How long would it take? That was what we would do in geography. I live here. This is there. How long would it take to get by plane, train, or automobile? How big is it? What is the history? So do your research and dream. Listen to your daydreams. Listen to your dreams. Because this is in the environment. It's there, but it's waiting for you to make a cognitive connection to it. So future you is coming through and saying, if you don't dream and if you don't imagine, that's what kind of keeps you stuck. And even though this is an Eight of Swords, it looks like it. It can sometimes be, this Nine of Wands, what's happening is you're used to working hard and everything being hard. This is saying it could be easier. What if it was easier? What if you could jump past that to the next level? So not only are you done, but you maybe could just level up 2 times. Like you were playing a video game and you had some sort of magical, potion that you took. All right. This potion, though, is just dreaming and just imagining something in a different way, shape, or form. There could also be someone around you that's really good at doing that. This could be a coach, a mentor, a project manager, someone that just has clarity. Get your clarity. And this empowers High Priestess energy. So when you tune in, then you can start to see. She already kind of sees it, but you need to do more of that work here, okay? So we have the Ace of Swords here in your hope spheres and opportunities. Take action. We saw that coming through for some of you in the elemental forecast, but now it's upright. I believe it was water, but now it's upright and it feels like the time is right. So the future you is saying, if you kind of do what we were talking about, lots of good advice. Thank you, future yous out there. But lots of great advice, and now it's just time to move forward with it. I think many of you just needed validation or confidence or support, because that was what was lacking, both when I was looking at my the dream messages and also the cards. I keep thinking back to that particular illustration. Let's see if it's still handy, where that guy was wagging his fingers. It's so annoying, right? I just know we've all experienced someone like that. Just they think they know everything. They think they know better. A lot of times the wisdom is there in the youth, but someone else is just kind of blocking it out because of their own limits. So you get to move forward now. You don't have to be in that Five of Pentacles moment anymore. You're going to say, I have a voice, I have an idea, I'm going to make a difference, here's what I'm doing. Action, movement, affirmative thoughts, positive thoughts, because that's what was lacking. And it basically is, this is like the go button or like a green light at a stop sign or stoplight. You've waited long enough and this is go, if I've ever seen it, okay? Because it's action. Whereas, Ace of Wands, you're still thinking a little bit, but Ace of Swords, it's time to take flight. And lo and behold, your final card is walking and moving. And it's interesting that he's juggling here. But typically, the Fool just doesn't carry a lot of worry with him. He just has a knapsack and maybe a trusty friend. Apollo's in the other room because there's a lot of sun behind me today. So yeah, you don't need to take a lot into something new. I love the keys in the corner on this illustration. Let's see what else is there. Yeah, you're going to unlock something. There's a lock and key, and it's basically saying the key to that is just movement. Also, just sharing from personal experience, this was potentially the best move I've ever made because it really taught me how stuff doesn't matter, and I really just feel fine. Like, isn't it weird how sometimes, for those of you that have been through a fire, flood, or theft, you know kind of what I'm talking about. You think you needed the stuff, but you really didn't. You're okay. At the end of the day, and I know a lot of people in the southeast of the U.S. just went through some significant weather stuff, so my heart goes out to you. If you did experience some damage to physical property because of a Hurricane Helene, right? Know this, you will get through it. And realize all the damage that I had, none of my stuff was covered. It was a complete loss. But also it was a complete gain because I was able to release a bunch of stuff from the past and just hit the road running. I didn't have a choice but to kind of step into the next day, right? So I have experienced something similar. I knowingly release the stuff. It's easier when you let go of it versus a storm, an earthquake, a flood, a fire, or someone else taking it from you. But for anyone who lost stuff, it's just stuff. Even the pictures, I had to let go of pictures of my mom and stuff like that. They're gone. But they're here. I'm here. Isn't that what matters? We're here. So I just feel like I wanted to pause, especially for those that have just gone through some sort of a loss. And it includes people in your life. You're still here. Future you is reminding you, you have to just keep moving. Each day you're moving towards a better tomorrow. It may not be great today, but tomorrow will be better. The day after that will be better. Even if it's just by a millimeter, it will be better. And pretty soon you're going to be a few meters down the road and you're feeling much, much, much better. Okay? Keep taking that step. Don't give up. All right. I kind of like what came through here today. Not just kind of. I like what came through here. There's some really great affirmational messages that we saw. We're going to now move on to the expanded forecast. All right. Let's take a look here at the first part of that. Actually, just so you know what we're doing in it, we're going to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. We're going to start off with health, which is your mind, body, and spirit. Well, look at what we've got. Strength and sweetgrass sacred medicine. Herbal teas are great, by the way. Looking at combining Eastern and Western, I don't think one replaces the other. And as I was recovering, I was telling Pisces, again, you'll have that later today, but when I went through all this stuff, I had to go on some prescription meds to clear out my sinuses, to stop my lungs from being Anyway, it did a number on my stomach and on my mouth because it messed up the flora and the natural bacteria. So I had to go on pre and probiotics and herbal remedies. Like I went to a Chinese herbalist and stuff like that. So definitely that helped. In fact, my regular doctor's like, I don't know what you're doing, but this is kind of like turning around faster. I'm like, yeah, I'm combining things. So this might be a time to do that. I didn't do it alone. I talked to someone. You have to know what you're doing. So always, standard disclaimer applies. I'm just looking at the energy and reading the cards here. And what it's saying is combine the approach, meditation, different forms of healing, different forms of medicine. They can all work together for a more holistic version of you, okay? Of your health, I should say. All right, let's take a look at everything on the table here and see what else is coming through. So I mentioned Nine of Wands. I think I still have the card here. So the Nine of Wands can sometimes be, you've worked yourself so hard that your mind needs a break. Mental stress, mental fatigue, which then invariably leads to physical fatigue. Sometimes, like this morning, you can kind of tell it's hazy. We've been having fog. It's weird. Normally we get it here in June or July. May, June, July. We have like May gray, June gloom. But for some reason, we're getting marine layers right now. So it's hard to get up when it's foggy. You're like, oh, I'm just going to stay in bed for a little bit more. So some environments can do it. That's why I couldn't live too far north when it gets really, really cold and dreary. I don't like it. So I need bright sunshine. That's why I have the sun behind me as we're reading. But this could also be the mental fatigue when you're like, it's not getting better. I'm tired. I need help. Take a break so that you can recalibrate. And I do think, again, having a pep talk from somebody that can help you see just how far you've come. You're closer than you think. But I'm picking up on the fatigue for many of you as well. Okay. What else is going on? Just the balance in your life. Let's see. I think I need to pull this back a little bit. So these are big cards. There we go. So the Two of Pentacles, besides just time and energy, it also is, I don't think you've been feeding yourself enough with things that really kind of lift you up. So if there's something that you really need or want to do, it will help you feel more balanced in your life. Investing in yourself. That's really what I'm getting here. And then, of course, not doing everything for everyone. Let's let one of these fall. He's juggling a lot here. So the future you is coming through and saying, that's a lot. 3 is enough for juggling. You don't need to have 5 of those in the air. Let a couple things fall. See who else picks up the slack, right? And it's important in love, relationships, and work to make sure that the load is evenly, or as evenly as possible, distributed. So be the boss, because Queen of Wands is bossy in a good way, and say, hey, help me out with this. Hey, how about, I'm just going to focus on this today. Do you want to do this? If you try to put it out there, you can make it happen. Definitely it's time for intuitive work here. So meditation, anything that's kind of also just inspirational. So Two of Wands is also getting inspired, reading a book, listening to a podcast, seeing a movie, hanging out with friends, going to a seminar, something that's not related to work or anything, just because you want to do it and it makes you feel better. I'm just getting invest in yourself, because that is what the Page of Pentacles is all about here. So it's about time. It's about time for you to do that. The rest of the cards are fairly manageable, okay? So I like what I see here. I think that health-wise, it's not bad. Judgment is the only one that is a little bit intense. Let me see again if I can pull the traditional Judgment card. I must have put it to the side. But yeah, it's okay. The angel, right, basically calling you to action here. That's the important thing here, is to listen to your wake-up call. This morning I set 4 or 5 alarms, and I know by the third one I need to get my butt out of bed. So when the third one went off, I was like, okay, let's get up. And again, I'm used to the sun waking me up, and when it doesn't, I miss it, and I'm like, so literal wake-up calls, but we're talking more of a sort of like a metaphorical one here. So I think for some of you, there might have been something going on with health, mental health, well-being, or you're just sick of something. And it really is the universe saying, how much worse does it need to get before you move on? You're not walking away. You're walking toward your new tomorrow. And that's a perfect segue into wealth. So that was something. We're going to move on to it, and I'll talk about it here. When I left my traditional job in 2015, it's been a long time, January of 2015. So I'll be coming up on 10 years formally having the channel. It started in 2013, but so 9 3/4 at this point. But I remember my boss and then really HR calling me directly. There were 3 people that said, "Are you sure?" But HR legitimately said, and it boggles my mind. They said, "Do you realize you're walking away from your career?" I said, "Or am I walking toward a new one?" I did say that, and they're like, "Okay, then you have thought this through." I'm like, "Yeah, I have, like for longer than you guys think." But that's what I saw that as. So I was so ready to quit on many levels, even though there was still a little fear and anxiety, but that was the turning point for me. And I also then framed it that way when I talked to my boss. I said, "This is my time to create. I've learned a lot from you," because I worked a long time as an art director, then as a producer, but like as a producer, you're helping produce everybody else's projects, right? So I wanted to do my own stuff. So in this moment in time, the Fool is coming through and saying, what do you want to walk toward in this moment? Yes, you might have to close a door and walk away from something, but you can also open one at the same time. It's not either or. And that was what traditional corporate society sometimes forget. I didn't even just walk away from that. I'm just exploring a new path. I could always go back. I don't want to, but I could always go back. But instead, there's something new. I'm answering the call. So I encourage you to dream a little bit and see if there's something in your current path that you haven't tapped into, or if there's something else that you want to do. What does your oracle card say here? The animal. All right. Trust your instincts. That's what I see when I look at the animal. So this is a chance to really just go on what you need to. So yeah, Apollo's in the other room because I'm going to turn my AC on. It got a little hot in here. But what I love about my dog, and I'm sure those of you that have cats see this too, every time before I get the leash and we go on a WALK, I can't say it or he'll run in, he will stretch 2 or 3 times and yawn, and then he gets all excited. But the instinct was stretch and get ready. Sometimes animals know that better. We don't stretch enough. We forget. But I look at him all the time. He's moving around. Cats groom themselves. They stay clean. Thank God it kicked on. And so this is about listening to your instincts, right? So don't think it through too much. That's what I see with this, okay? Let's move on to 3 categories. We'll look first at those who have a job, including entrepreneurs. Then we'll look at job seekers, and then students and retirees. Some of you actually may want to do work with animals. So veterinarians out there, this is just confirmation that you're on the right path. All right, now focusing on people with a traditional 9-to-5 job. There's been a change, either inward or environmentally. You've either changed what you're wanting to focus on, or again, maybe there's been a new boss, there's been some restructuring. Something about the environment is moving around a little bit. And it's time for you to figure out if you want to stay or if you want to go. So that's one thing. You have the capacity to step up to a new level if you're interested, because we have this boss energy coming forth. I feel like you're working almost too much. 9 of Wands is working hard, but not maybe. You're working too hard. I want you to work smarter. Delegating, knowing when enough is enough. When I look back at some of the places that I worked at, even one of my favorite jobs, the company doesn't even exist. It ended up getting merged with another one, and then the one that it merged with was kind of lackluster. So like I did a bunch of work for this place for almost 4 years, and then it's all gone. It's all gone, and that's okay. I learned a lot from it, but it also reminded me, like, all those late nights, all those things, like, did it matter? Is it changing the world? Is what you're doing changing the world, or is it just work? If it's just work, knowing enough is enough. That's a big, big takeaway here. And now I'm thinking of Donna Summer's song, Enough is Enough. No More Tears. That's the second part of that song. So yeah, enough is enough. Let it go. Time to move on. I love that you have 2 aces, by the way. You might have 2 really exciting things. This is why you have to make a choice. So Ace of Swords, Ace of Wands, you're figuring out where you want to put your energy, or you're taking an idea and bringing it into action. It's time for travel for some of you as well. So if you want to see the world a little bit more, maybe you're going to take a sabbatical or try to travel some more at work. But I feel like many of you are getting ready to move in a different direction. That's why I felt like it was the right time to talk about that. For everybody else, advocate for more worth, advocate for more opportunities, fight for your ideas. That's the main takeaway. Entrepreneurs, you have two great things that you're trying to look at. I don't think you have enough resources to do both on your own. You would have to get an investor. And that's what you're doing here with the Knight of Pentacles. You're going out to try to get someone to help you out. Partnership or investment, or you're going to do one first and one later. Don't spread yourself too thin. That's the main thing for entrepreneurs. Also, with the Judgment card, I think I'm getting like, don't reinvent the wheel. So if something is tried and true, go for it. If there's something new that you want to try out, fine. But try to find efficiencies. That's a very corporate word, but I feel like you don't have to. This is rising from the ashes, but you can take some of what you did before and leverage it. So maybe a failed or stalled idea can be brought or resuscitated, brought back to life, and that can be your new sort of thing. Go back and try to breathe life into something now that you'd given up on. I think the timelines have shifted a bit, and it could be more easily accomplished now. Okay, moving onward here. So we looked at working folks, entrepreneurs, job seekers are next. At least two options on the. We have Two of Wands and we have two different aces. So let's look at the options between the two different aces. One of them is attached to a value card. Value and vision. And then the other one is kind of short term, and I don't know if they're kind of waffling and indecisive. Go for the one where you feel like you're valued more. I actually feel like that is going, as long as there's enough creative energy there, it looks good. You're probably wondering, Nicholas, where do I go to find it? I'm going to repeat, it keeps coming through. Whatever you're not getting answers on, stop trying to call them. Hopefully it's the last time I have to say it, but it's been a constant message for like 2 weeks. So whatever is gone, or whatever isn't answering. I want you to focus on at least two new things. Don't overdo it. We don't want to throw the kitchen sink. I remember when I was trying to get a book published, and I think I just applied. It's better to go to 5 different people at a time, 2, 3, 4, 5. But when you start to do like 50, you're just throwing pasta on the wall and hoping something sticks. Really get razor focused and pick 1 or 2 that you really can make you can make a splash with. And one of those may pan out. Do much less, far less, but do it better when it comes to job application. And see if there's someone that you know, see if there's a different way to present yourself. Creativity is rewarded. Innovative techniques are rewarded. So find a different way to kind of like serve up the information. Also, it might be time to be the boss. So entrepreneurial energy is here as well, provided that you have the resources. Some of you want to go back to school, Page and Knight of Pentacles, and I totally support that as well. Okay, for those that are students, things are pretty good right now. You might have just changed schools or changed majors, a change in decision, a change in focus. Some of you, we're getting lots of 2s. The 2s are 2ing here. 2 of Pentacles, 2 of Wands. You can do a double major, but would it be better to do a major and just a really strong minor? Because the 2 of Pentacles is basically saying, it's a lot. It's a lot. It might be really rewarding. It's going to maybe double the time or double the effort. It's a lot. So I like to keep it real on the channel here. And maybe start with a major and then a strong minor. And if you really like that minor, you can make it a major, a double major. But start off with the major you like the most, and then try it. Test the waters as the minor. Okay? That's what I'm getting there, just because it's a lot. Or don't overdo it. Like if you're going to do the double major, maybe you focus more on one first and then the other, or you get 2 degrees in succession. 2 at once is a lot. So maybe just get 2 different ones. Something about that. Talk to an advisor. I am not an advisor. I'm just looking at how much it's going to take. So, or find a school where the 2 have more overlap, so you don't have to take as many duplicative classes. So, for instance, like if you were to double major in something like math and computer science, there is a lot of classes that would probably fall in the middle, or English and journalism. You're going to take classes that you can apply to both. But if you're taking English and geography, that's going to be a lot. That's different. It's different, but it might be you, and maybe you're going to be the next person that brings geography or geology to the masses because you communicate well. So I'm just trying to paint a picture there to be clear on how much work it's going to take. Okay? You've got this, though. I don't have any cards of failure or any cards, just a little stress, a little mental fatigue. Okay? Retirees. It's a great time to be retired, right? I think the challenge is there's not enough time to do everything you want. Maybe there's not enough money to do everything you want. You have ideas. You have dreams. You have things that you can focus on. I would encourage you to go for it. Just pace yourself. That's the main thing that I see. Get out and explore. Just take a walk in a different direction. Drive your car in a different place. Take a trip to somewhere that you've never been. Shake it up a little bit. This could also bring new connections into your life. So speaking of new connections, let's go to love and relationships. We have the Orca coming through, and it says song lines. Okay, this deck creator should have looked because you can barely read that. I have to pull it really close. So listening to your inner voice is what this is all about. And oftentimes what I'm getting, if I just kind of take the card to the side and think about listen to your voice, it's because for some of you, your partner talks all the time. Maybe there's a lot of kids, you work a lot. There's voices all around, kind of like it's like you need noise cancellation. Maybe using noise cancellation headphones can help, or just getting into a space where you can meditate. I think for the air signs, I got the Four of Swords, so it's going to be especially important for those of you that are trying to collect your thoughts. And that doesn't mean that, people around you aren't worth listening to. It's just you need to listen to the inner voice as well. Okay? Alrighty. Let's break it down here. Those in a relationship, looking for love, single and happy. If you're in a relationship, what I just said can apply. There's a lot going on. Make sure you're taking time for yourself. Especially for those of you that have kids, because we have a page and a knight, which can represent the two kids. There's just a lot, I have a lot of respect for parents that have active children, like in sports and music and band and this and that. Like, you're constantly on the go. So really making sure that there does come a point even where you're going to have to maybe look for, can they carpool with someone else? Is this the semester that you need to take this particular thing? Can we do it now? So you're going to have to be the boss, the mama or papa bear that you are, in the, I forget which one it is, Wildwood deck. I love that there's like this big bear. So you're going to be the mama bear and just say, all right, we're going to do this now. We're going to do this. Because also organization needs to happen. Not the sort of condescending one. It's more like, I hear you, I see you. Here's how we're going to do it. And there has to be give and take, right? You can't do it all the time. They can't do it all the time. There has to be give and take. And so she's more of a playful Queen of Wands. She's like, come on, do this. I'll help this. You take your sister here. I'll do this. So bringing order to chaos. You're going to have to do a little bit of that. Now looking just at partnership, separate of children. Not everyone has children, and that's all right. Looking at those that are just in a partnership, here's what I see. There's been a wake-up call. There's been a moment. Some of you may have been wondering, and this could be the moment of, are we going to be exclusive? And you decided yes, perhaps. There could have been something that went on that really brought you closer together. Sometimes it's a loss of someone. Judgment can represent a soul passing into spirit. And in that moment, you're like, God, I really needed your support, and I'm so glad you were there. So there was a wake-up call. It feels like you chose to remain together. For those of you that did, there's still some work to be done, but you see each other better. Take time to continue to tune in, because there's a lot going on this month. So what's missing from the spread, I'm looking quickly. There's not as many cups. There's no cups as I'd like to see. So what I would love to see is a Two of Cups moment, just spending dinner together, taking a walk together, running an errand together if you're really busy, talking a little bit, and making sure the devices are down and the ears and eyes are open and you're taking it in. A little bit more of that. Not just communication. I feel like you're communicating, but I feel like it's about the togetherness there will really help. And there are a select few of you that are ready to move on. And that's also, it looks like you've done your work. Like I was talking about with HR when they were like, are you sure? And it's not like, I'm not walking away, I'm walking toward a new chapter. It doesn't look acrimonious, it looks peaceful. It looks like you can make it work. So just figuring out what you want and where you are in the equation. There's a lot to love in this spread, but what's lacking is presence of mind. And maybe in the relationship, the two of you together. The noise has kind of come in and taken too much real estate, okay? Let's move this over a little bit. Okay, for those of you that are seeking love, do you have the time? First things first. Two of Pentacles, time management. Can you find it? Yeah. We have the Two of Wands here. There might be a couple of suitors that are coming through. Initially, they don't kind of want to reveal who they are. I mean, I see one potentially here in an earth sign, but be clear on what it is that you want, because honestly, this is indecision. Normally, super clear, manifesting stuff. This is, maybe I want this, maybe I don't, maybe I want this. The answer to this is really like Three of Cups. See what's out there, explore, give yourself a chance to decide who you are, how you feel with this person, what you're looking for. It'll all come together eventually, but it's not quite there yet. So I feel like there's just a little bit of indecision. Earth energy coming through, someone who is bold, busy, and probably will take the first step in communication. Spirit's saying they like to talk a lot about what they do. So they're proud of their accomplishments. Dig in a little bit to make sure that there's not too much ego there. That's the only thing that I'm picking up. They just said that person talks a lot. So make sure that you're being listened to. You deserve that. I feel like right now, those of you that are single and happy, good for you. There are so many things to walk towards, so many doors to open. You're very liberated and free to do that. There's at least one or two things on your schedule. Same thing with retirees and those that are, sort of single. It feels like because you're not so focused on the other person, the sky is the limit. I think the challenge is focus. Because if you are not focused, then it just gets a little stressful. Even the freedom of being able to do all of this can be very sort of like all over the place, right? So tune in. Okay. Destiny. The universe works fast when I'm having fun. Amen to that. Joy and play equals actually more productivity. I wish that school and work realized that. I mean, school does to some degree, especially like when you're in the younger grades, elementary school and middle school or primary school, because there's recess, right? They know that kids need to go outside and scream and walk around and play and do things for a little bit so that they can come back and focus. Otherwise, it's just bottled up energy. You need to eat, you need to play. You need to have some fun, and some of you have been denying yourself the fun. No more denial. And fun can be anything. My version of fun isn't someone else's. Someone may have fun cleaning. I do to some degree. I don't like getting out the detergent. I like organizing. I mean, I do both, but it's more fun to see things put into perfect order. Like, that's me. But some people love scrubbing and, all of that because it's a way to work out tension. But singing, writing, art, going to the movies, there's no right or wrong way to have fun, folks. So have some fun, figure it out on your own. There's only so much I can do as a reader. All right, let's focus on one big idea for today. And then I'll see if there's anything else that I'm called to look at before we go into meditation. So this is the future you saying, focus on this, please. Okay, our first reversal here in the form of the moon. The moon reversed. It's time for you to see through illusions. To try, sometimes we kind of try to talk ourselves in or out of something too. It's sort of like, that you should, I think the best way to look at this is, I'll start this tomorrow. I'll start eating better tomorrow. I'll start exercising tomorrow. Or no one will notice if I do this. It's that kind of Seven of Swords energy too, kind of talking you into things. the moon is saying, let's get real. Let's see through that. Also, you may be looking at someone in your life that's weaving a web of illusions. So it's kind of like Snow White, the queen that presents herself as someone that she isn't. I really want you to focus on your first impression when you meet someone. Do you feel safe? Do you feel happy? Are you curious? Whatever you feel on that first impression is very telling, and oftentimes ends up being very, very accurate. So listen to your instincts and be honest. Be honest with yourself, be honest with others. It's going to pay off in the long run, okay? What was lacking today? Cups. Let's see how we can tune into cups. I feel called to look at one more, and this is just a reader's choice, which I haven't done in a bazillion years. I'm reading it because I want to read it. Okay, 9 of Cups. So I think I still even have the graphic here, reader's choice. I want to see why there is no cups. So this person is chasing an old energetic high. So we see a skeleton trying to enjoy a drink, and of course it's not going to work. So whatever used to work in the past, like the thrill is gone on something, but you're still in that energy. And letting go of something that isn't fulfilling anymore, whether it's a vice like this or whether it's just something that, like, again, you're in the, what is it? It's just kind of like a routine. You're in a rut, but you're in a routine. So we're going to just say, I don't feel it. I don't feel it. I'm going to try something new. Maybe that something new will be something great. We're not going to chase old highs anymore. In relationship, in business, in work, in life, we're going to try something different, okay? Apollo came back. Let me see if the camera is on him, and we'll take a look at him before we meditate, and then maybe I'll leave the camera on while we're meditating. So a couple things while I'm getting that ready. If you enjoyed this, hit subscribe. We still have one more part of the reading, which is going to be basically a chance to meditate and then ask a final question. So we'll get to that in just a moment. There we go. I'm trying to get the camera focused behind me, but I'm not going to worry about it. If it wants to work, it'll work. Here we go. So as I'm getting this ready, the other thing that I want to say is if you want to show some support on social media, you can do it basically through Nicholas Ashbaugh on all of these major channels. And also you can go to the main channel page here and you'll see how to follow me there as well. All right, let's close our eyes. I'll work on getting the camera ready after that. We're going to meditate together. And I would like you to focus on, first and foremost, we're going to let go of people, places, and things in our past that no longer serve you, and really just allow yourself in this moment to feel like you're enough. So picture someone in your life that may have created some friction, may have made things difficult for you, and I'd like you to imagine that the two of you are looking basically at the rising sun, and you see that person stepping towards the sun, and the sun then just kind of eclipses their light and absorbs the energy. It's removing that boundary from your life right now. You do not need that energy with you anymore. So imagine, if you will, there we go, that person is starting to melt away. Whatever hold that they had on you is now gone, and you just feel whole again. See the sun now moving through them. They're actually out of the picture altogether, and it's now connecting with your solar plexus. Breathe in and allow that light to move from your belly to your lungs to your heart to every cell in your body, and feel now that you are bright and light, not just light as far as luminosity, but you feel like you are as light as a feather. Stretch out your wings and imagine that you are like a thunderbird, an angel, a beautiful butterfly, whatever winged creature you want to imagine, and see yourself starting to glide. The next chapter is easier. What if it got easier? What if it wasn't so much work? What if that person's voice was no longer in your head? I want you to tune into your own voice. Put an affirmative thought, a single affirmative thought. I can. Let's just start with that. I can do this. Later this week, tune in and think, I will do this. And a little later in the week, I'm doing this. Move yourself from the possibilities to the present, sort of a possibility to actually just bringing it into motion. And now just feel yourself flying towards that goal, that dream, that aspiration, and getting just a little bit closer to your tomorrow, okay? When you're ready, gently open your eyes, and you'll notice that Apollo has been guiding us in this meditation with all his many toys and has been holding space for us, and he's kind of in his own sleep as well. Yes, I was talking about you, buddy. He's like, Dad, stop it. Wake up if you haven't already, and I'd like you to focus on your final question for today, whatever that might be. Anything that you need some additional insight in, all right? So final question, final card. Let's see what the universe has to show. We have 2. We'll take it. Okay. All right, both of these were reversed. It's pretty clear for me. If you asked a yes or no, it's not yet, not now. But the first of the 2 was the 9 of Swords, and it was reversed. It's basically saying that there's too much fear-based energy in this moment. So we really want to walk away from what might go wrong and embrace what might go right. I think it's also really important to take care of yourself. You may not be sleeping enough. You may be taking with you to bed too many of these things from your waking hours. So stress and anxiety, better stress management. We have death in reverse. So this is focusing too much on trying to stop something that's happening. Like, again, when a change happens within, you have to kind of embrace it. Or staying stuck in something that doesn't serve you. So 2 cards of death and rebirth, and that's basically what these represent. So something needs to stop first in order for you to embrace the rebirth energy that is judgment. Are you ready to let it go? Remembering my story of walking toward something rather than away from it, that's really what this is about. Yes, something won't be around you, but something else will take its place, something hopefully much better, okay? So not yet, but soon, and it's really an acceptance thing, and it's really a release thing as well. That's everything for today, folks. Thanks for showing up. I appreciate you. We'll put some balloons here to celebrate that we got through the reading. We're starting a new month, my favorite month. As a Libra, I love October, but I also love that this is a change of season. I heard someone in the Southern Hemisphere say, don't forget about us. I don't forget about you all. I always mention Northern or Southern when I say this, but it's the same change whether we're going into spring or fall. It's still like a shift in energy, or we're on the precipice of something new. So I feel like that's why this was such a powerful reading today. All right, I'd like to take a couple of moments to express gratitude. Again, before I do that, if you haven't subscribed, it's free. Give it a go. I appreciate it. And if you haven't already followed me elsewhere, you can do that as well. I'm going to take a moment to give extra gratitude to everybody that gave back with super stickers, super chat, and also gifted some memberships. I saw there was a lot of activity while I was doing this, so let's get into my favorite part here, thanks and gratitude. We'll start off with all of you that were either newly joining or gifted a membership, and then I'll move on to those that celebrated milestones or gifted the memberships. Okay, so today, oh, hold on a second. YouTube is saying, is it you? Yes, it's me. So I got to verify it real quick. Hold on. I love how this happens in the middle of the live stream. There we go. Okay, here we go. Looking at this, KV Katrina, I think it is. Thank you. Tamika and Aaron, welcome to all of you. Let's take a moment also to say thanks to those that gifted or celebrated a recent anniversary here. So let's take a look at that. All right, today, Lucy, you gifted a membership. Thank you so much. Water Girl, member for 14 months. Congratulations. Quiet Plague, you gifted a membership as well. Thank you. And W, thank you for 28 months, wow, of membership. And I appreciate that you appreciate me showing up. I appreciate that. Thank you. Lots of appreciation there. All right, now let's move on to super stickers and super chat. Anybody that gave a sticker or boosted their chat a little bit. So let's see what's going on with that. Okay, here we go. Lucy, Raven, Jackie, Monica, Water Girl, Rafaela, Colette, Jeannie, and Quiet Play. Thank you. And I know many of you gifted a membership and gave back in that way. So thanks for both of those. I appreciate it. I think I caught everybody. So if I missed anyone, I know Dakota was kind enough to say thanks in real time. Apollo's in the other room, but you got your fix of him while we were meditating together. So just want to say thanks for joining today. Happy October. This week we're stepping into it. It's going to be a fun month. We'll be doing a Halloween special. Always one of my favorite readings, so keep an eye out for that. All the readings, like I said, should be up later today, and maybe I'll do a newsletter tomorrow. We'll see. Take care of yourselves. Have a great week ahead, and until next time, be well. Bye-bye.